Earlier this week, I talked about how important it is to keep learning and growing and challenging yourself if you want to stay ageless and vibrant for the rest of your life after age 50. Hi, I'm Laura with Shine After 50, and today we're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive in the Companion Tarot reading, a 3-card reading that goes along with the Shine After 50 video of the week. We're going to look at 3 perspectives. And also I want to add here that normally I would be shuffling the cards and doing the reading live, but I had a tech issue this time. And the cards I selected I thought were so good I didn't want to start it from scratch. So normally I will be shuffling and presenting the reading, but this time because of a tech issue, I will just present the cards as I selected them previously. So the first card or question that we're going to look at is, what area do you need to grow in? And I'll lower the camera so you can see the cards, how I laid them out. And these are facing me. But the first card I selected was the Hierophant. In what area you need to grow. And I felt what this card suggested was that an area in which you need to grow is in the spiritual realm. The Hierophant is number 5 in the Major Arcana. And the Major Arcana cards in the tarot deck have special weight. They have special import. And 5 is also a number of change and fluctuation and things moving and growing. And what I feel that the Hierophant is advising you, if you want to stay vibrant and ageless throughout the rest of your days, is that, especially we recognize that after age 50, unless things change dramatically and we live to be 120 and 140 beyond in the future, but typically after age 50 we have fewer years ahead of us. We have more years behind us and fewer years ahead of us. So we want to make sure that we squeeze the juice out of life. We want to make the most of our remaining time. We never know how long that will be necessarily. And so I feel one of the core elements of creating a meaningful life in which you shine, especially in your spirit, is to focus on developing and growing in the spiritual realm. Now, typically the Hierophant, who is a high priest type of figure, is associated with traditions, perhaps religious traditions. And we see these 2 monks bowing in reverence before the priest here, or the bishop. And he also is raising his hand in a benediction, the blessing. What I feel that Spirit is advising us, or that the message of this reading today is, the area in which you need to grow the most is creating or enhancing, expanding your spiritual connection to the divine. Now, even if you're not religious or if you don't believe in a higher power, connecting to the highest part of yourself, the best part of yourself. And given that the Hierophant is typically associated with structure and rituals, I feel that you are being advised, that we're all being advised, to create our own structures. It doesn't mean you have to start going to a church if that's not your jam, or attending a particular religious practice or spiritual practice, but come tune into what animates your own spirit. It could be taking walks in silence regularly. I wrote about that a month or so ago in my newsletter, which I'll include a link to, about how valuable it is, and when you walk in silence outside, that you tune into nature, you tune into your highest self. So that's something you could consider. This week, I think the advice of this week is that the area in which you need to grow the most next, to focus on your attention on, is in strengthening your spiritual connection. However you may do that. And that could be, even for some people, that could be dancing. And if you stick around to the end of the reading, I also have a bonus card from the Work Your Light Oracle deck, and that has a suggestion there. But the area I feel that this reading is advising you to focus on, to grow in, is learning ways to strengthen your spiritual connection. Now, the next card represents what's making you hesitate. And I selected the Hermit, another major arcana card, special weight in this reading. And the Hermit, you see this elderly gentleman, looks like the wise elder. He is ascending this cliff, snowy white cliff. He's got his lantern. He's by himself, clearly. And he is going to illuminate the terrain below him. But since this is falling in the position of why you may be hesitating, I'm going to take a sip of my tea. My throat got a little dry. What you may be hesitating is that perhaps you feel that the practices or the areas in which things that you're going to do may isolate you from other people, your friends, your family. Now, in the video where I talked about the importance of challenging yourself and learning, the example was of Diana Nyad, who, when she was in her late 20s, she attempted to swim from south coast of Florida to Cuba, 110-mile trek distance. And then she failed at that, but then in her early 60s, she decided to attempt it again. Now just think about what may have made her hesitate. She could have thought about her friends and family thinking, what a fool, or what an insane idea. If you couldn't achieve this in your 20s, how could you possibly achieve this in your 60s? But she did. She took the necessary action. But I believe she no doubt had some hesitation there, just that. But she prevailed through it. So what is making you hesitate is perhaps that you may feel isolated from other people. If you have some ideas or some areas that you want to pursue and they may seem odd to your friends and family or just crazy, what may make you hesitate is that fear of isolation. But go for it. As we see here, the Hermit, he is on his own, but he's very strong, and he's going to illuminate others with his action. So just think about that. You can be an inspiration for others, even if in the short term you may feel that your friends, family, colleagues may distance themselves from you. But I think to your own self, to thy own self be true, is whatever from Shakespeare said. So don't hesitate, even if you have that fear. And then finally, the third card is representing what is going to happen if you say yes to this vision, to this area, new area in which you choose to grow in. And when this card is upright, the Knight of Wands represents the young energy of an individual who is fueled by a strong purpose and passion. He's got that red feather that is akin to a flame, passion. He's got a red cloak. The color red for me always represents passion, that fire and energy. The wands are the fire element. So he is driven, he's propelled. But given that, given that I selected this reversed, and the question is what's going to happen if you say yes, is that first you make this decision and you may not see any immediate results, or you may be a bit distanced from your friends and family, but this fire is going to be established deep within you. Often for me, the reverse will suggest something that is deeply being established inside of you first before you see the fruits of your labor later on. I feel that what you are being advised is that if you say yes to this vision, to this new direction that comes to you to grow in, that it really is going to create this burning fire within you. But you may have to be quiet about it for a while until you start taking a whole series of actions and planting the seeds. It's like planting seeds, watering it. You have to just have faith. You know deep down that you've taken the action, you've planted the seed, you fertilized the soil. You're just going to have faith that it's going to bloom eventually. So I believe that's what the Knight of Wands is saying, that when you say yes to this new area of growth, you will create this solid foundation and this burning energy within you, but it's going to take a little while before you see its fruits. Now finally, if you want to stick around with me for the bonus card, it's from this beautiful oracle deck that I bought back in March of this year. It's called Work Your Light Oracle Cards, and the reason I selected it is because light relates to shining and the shining spirit. And for this reading, I selected the Dance with Life card. You can see the beautiful illustrations of this deck. We see here two individuals just dancing, and the message is dance with life. Do something to change your energy. And that to me is always so vital. You've got to keep that high vibration. So I just want to read the message. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Life is always moving, talking about growth. If you resist this ever-changing flow, your energy will become stagnant and you will fall out of flow with the universe. The universe has a mysterious, intelligent force, a natural rhythmic beat which governs all of life. One of the best ways to shift your energy, frequency, and vibration is to put on some music and dance along with it. And that is the core message. It goes a little bit longer, but dance with life. I hope this reading has been helpful for you. I am available for private readings. If you have an interest in that, click the Calendly link below in the show notes, and you will be able to book a time. And until next time, remember, illumine your mind, inspire your life with tarot.